Welcome to the annual Rodeo Hall of Fame Champions Induction. Please welcome the President and CEO of the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum, Pat Fitzgerald, and Chairman of the Board of Directors, Wyatt McRae.
Good evening, everyone. It's my absolute pleasure to welcome you all to the 66th Rodeo Hall of Fame weekend. We are thrilled to have such an incredible group of people here as we celebrate the 2024 Rodeo Hall of Fame class of inductees and award recipients. Before we continue tonight's program, we would like to welcome 2019 Rodeo Hall of Fame inductee and Rodeo Historical Society President and my friend, Mr. Rob Smets, to the stage to lead us in the invocation.
Good evening, everybody. I ask that you remove cover, take a moment from a drink. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for bringing us all together, our family, our rodeo family. We thank you for the safe travels that you bestowed upon us all. We ask that you have your hand on us all as we go back home. We ask that you bless those that provided this meal for us and made it, and we ask that you bless this food and its nourishment to our bodies. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Rob. As we honor the spirit of the American West and celebrate its remarkable achievements in rodeo, we would like to recognize and thank all those who have served in the armed forces. Would all veterans and active service members and attendants please stand? Your service means so much to us, and we thank you. Now, if everybody would please rise for the presentation of our nation's colors. Presenting the colors is the Oklahoma City Police Department's Honor Guard. Please remain standing until the colors are retired, following the performance of our national anthem by Associate Board Member, Mr. Doug Wade.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. When the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Colors turn. Thank you. Please be seated. We'd like to take a moment to express our sincere gratitude to our sponsors. This weekend wouldn't have been possible without their support and generosity. Thank you to our presenting sponsor, the Delora A. and Lester J. Norris Foundation. And our supporting sponsors, Lenny and Linda Sadler with Cheyenne Station Ranch, Dr. Daniel and Mrs. Feeback, and Cody and Ashley Webster. And our associate sponsors, Lucchese Bootmaker, Pendleton Whiskey, Wrangler, Corky, and Mr. and Mrs. Kelly Riley. And our patron sponsors, Mr. and Mrs. Tim Hawkins, and Mike and Jill Thorne, and Jim and Cathey Blevins, and American Abstract Company of McLean County Incorporated. Thank you for your kindness and unwavering passion for preserving and celebrating the rich traditions of rodeo. We would also like to extend our heartfelt thanks to a wonderful group of donors that provide year-round support and are instrumental in ensuring the museum has operating stability to carry out our mission and bring our programs to life. I'd like to extend a special thank you to our partners, Devon Energy Corporation, E.L. and Thelma Gaylord Foundation, and major support from the True Foundation.
In addition, we have numerous board members joining us this evening. Your presence means a great deal, and we truly appreciate your continued support and leadership. Now, please revisit the silent auction tables during dinner. The silent auction will close at 6:30 p.m. We'll begin tonight's award program following dinner. Enjoy your meal.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host for this evening, PRCA all-around world champion and former RHS president, Dave Appleton.
Good evening. Welcome to the Rodeo Historical Society's induction ceremony for the rodeo weekend. What an outstanding class we're going to induct this year. For those of you that have joined us many, many years, normally I have a sidekick with me. Unfortunately, Pam Minnick is not able to join us tonight, but and I talked to her just a few minutes ago. She said, "Hey Dave, do me a favor to keep the tradition going." She said, "Make sure you get that selfie of the two of us together." Now, Pam may not be here tonight, but when I turn around and I take this selfie, I want everybody in here to wave their hand at Pam and give her a big howdy doody so she can't be here. But hold on a second. Let me flip this thing around. There we go. Now, everybody stand up, look good. Here we go. Big wave. One more time. There we go. God, I look fat. No, thank you. No, what a great weekend, and I really am sorry that Pam can't be here, and just keep her in your prayers. She's doing great. How about that meal? Let's have a great round of applause for Pat and all of his staff. Thank you very, very much, Pat. What a great meal. I mean, what a great meal. It's a great night to be here, and you know, this night is really about a lot of things. We're going to induct a great class, but we're also going to remember perhaps some of those we've lost. Unfortunately, as we get a little bit older, each and every year, we always lose too many great cowboys, too many great honorees, too many great cowgirls, and once again, we need to pay tribute, and this year we lost none other than Pete Eugene Fredericks. Pete was from Elbow Woods, North Dakota. He was born in 1936. He was a member of the Mandan, Hidatsa, and Akira Nation. His tribal name was Charging Eagle. Pete attended New Mexico State University on a rodeo scholarship. He transferred to Dickinson State Teachers College, where he helped organize the first NIRA rodeo intercollegiate rodeo team. He was also a founding member of the Indian National Finals that they created in 1976. He went on to winning all kinds of rodeo titles around the United States and Canada, racked up enough accolades to actually end him up here in this museum, the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum. Although rodeo was integral part of his life, so true was his faith. For those that knew Pete, you could always find him in solace in prayer. He could be seen a couple of times a day with a rosary in his hand, silently praying. Pete was relieved from cancer in his battle with cancer. He was surrounded by his family when they passed in June. He'll be greatly missed. Let's have a great round of applause for the great late Pete Eugene Fredericks. You know, annually each year, the Rodeo Historical Society and the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum celebrate legendary cowboys and cowgirls who have helped shape the sport of professional rodeo by inducting new members who will help inspire today's champions, and also they will set the stage for the younger generation to come. As we get a chance to notice and recognize, we also have some special awards. This year, the two awards we always have are the Tad Lucas Memorial Award and the Ben Johnson Memorial Award. These are two special honors because they recognize and honor two very special people. During the ceremonies this evening, a photographer will be here to capture each inductee as they receive their medallion. And after the program, as always is tradition, please, all inductees, please come up to the stage and we'll take a class photo. All of the photos that are taken this evening will be available online for purchase. So if you have family out here, you want to get a great family member, a family picture. It is close to Thanksgiving holidays. This will be a great time because this is when families are together. So it'll be a great time to get a family a photograph. We may not have Pam, some of the beauty in the room, with me on stage. But we do have a beautiful, lovely young lady that's going to stand on stage with me all evening. In a couple of weeks, she's going to go out to Las Vegas. She'll be representing Oklahoma in the Miss Rodeo America competition. Let's have a big round of applause for Miss Rodeo Oklahoma, Chesney Grimes. She said, I asked her real briefly, I said, so 2 weeks you get to go out there. I said, you nervous? Oh, see, I've been studying hard. I know I've been really working up on all my rodeo history. And I said, great. I said, you plan on winning? She said, well, the top 5. And I said, no, go for first. Isn't she a beautiful, lovely young lady? Let's have her one more round of applause. Beautiful young lady. Studies up at OSU. Family was in the rodeo business. They were in the trick side of the business, so good luck. Joining us to present the first award this evening is Bonnie Lucas Nelson. She is the great-granddaughter of the late, great Tad Lucas. Come on up here, Bonnie. You mentioned the name Tad Lucas. Well, that was a name that's been revered amongst cowboys and cowgirls of all ages, and this award celebrates women who approach life with the same fearless invocation and innovation and unwavering bravery that Tad Lucas had. This year's recipient's pioneering spirit led her to the rodeo circuit, where her dedication to capturing the talent and the moments of rodeo earned her a respected place in the photography world of history. She was a part of our family. She didn't come in as a family, but she quickly became the family, and let's find out more about this special lady.
Southern California native Sue Rosoff, a prominent American photographer who studied under Ansel Adams, is known for her compelling work documenting rodeo culture. She started taking photographs at a young age. Her first formal training came in high school, where she developed her own film and printed her own prints. Rosoff graduated from the University of California at Berkeley. It was there that her interest in rodeo started as a master's thesis and turned into a collaboration with Groundy Brothers Rodeo Company that named, promoted, and documented the famous Challenge of Champions between bull rider Lane Frost and champion bull Red Rock. Rosoff spent years traveling the rodeo circuit. Her images often highlight relationships between rodeo participants, their animals, and the environment, providing a nuanced view of the culture and lifestyle surrounding rodeos. Through her work, Rosoff has vividly captured the intensity and drama of rodeo events and is distinguished by her ability to convey the raw energy and emotional depth of the sport.
Please help me welcome to the stage for this most deserving award, Sue Rosoff.
Thank you, everybody. Let's see. Thank you so much. This is the teleprompter back here, handy. Thank you to Kelly Riley, Tad's grandson, over there. And to Bonnie, Tad's great-granddaughter, who makes sure Tad and her spirit are well represented here. Who would have thought that getting a master's in photography at Berkeley would have led to this? Briefly, which is not my forte, I wanted to do social documentary work. I wanted to go into a culture to photograph it, a culture I knew nothing about, and see if I could become a fly on the wall. I tried other cultures, but rodeo, from going to my hometown rodeo, the Cow Palace, became the biggest challenge. I could see the light at the end of the tunnel for all the other cultures, but rodeo was like Mount Everest with clouds. I couldn't see the top or know if I could get there, and so it posed the biggest challenge, so of course, that's what I did. I need to thank some people, my family, my folks who didn't blink when I said I was gonna go catch rides with rodeo cowboys to document them. I actually asked my mom last year about it, because other people have asked me, what did your folks think? And she said that they knew at least they could come get me, unlike when I was going to take a job as crew for 2 Italian families who were gonna sail to the Marquesas. And I thought, oh, yeah, that. I need to thank my sisters who would take me and pick me up from different adventures. My sister Jill still tells people about when she came and picked me up from being on the road for a couple of months, and I said, hi. I got the rodeo toy. Okay, I need to thank my rodeo family, Jackie Romer, who I could bail in with when I got tired of going on the road with the guys, Kendra Santos, writer and podcaster par excellence, Baxter and Cindy Lou Black. Cindy Lou is here with her sisters Tamara and Susan and her daughter Jennifer, who became friends through Baxter reciting his Legacy of a Rodeo Man at a championship banquet in like 1984. And then Barb and John Shipley, also here, who I met here in Oklahoma City during the 1983 National Finals through Kelly Riley at a Winston banquet, who have always given me a soft place to land when I needed time off the road or a headquarters for the Cowboy Downhill. As did Baxter and Cindy Lou when they still lived in Colorado, during Denver or before and after Cheyenne or whenever. Dave Baldridge, who I spoke to the other day, who was the media director at the PRCA when he gave me my PRCA photographer's card and told me not to go into the arena until I was ready. And John Growney, who I showed up in Red Bluff at the right time and became the instant PR person for Lane and Red Rock and got to help celebrate the story of Lane and Red Rock together, the challenge of the champions, and we're still doing it. I have two friends here tonight to thank as well who helped me take care of Mama in the last years of her life, Leah from Indonesia and Patrick from England. And thank you to all the contestants, secretaries, timers, stock contractors, clowns, bullfighters, and their families who I got to know, those who took me on the road with them, fed me if I went home with them, and I obviously could not do this without any of them. I very much related to the rodeo contestants. We were all betting on ourselves. They, when they paid their entry fees for the rodeos, and me every time I put a roll of film in the camera. And no matter what, we all kept going. It's a great group of people, it's family, and I was so blessed and lucky to show up to photograph rodeo when I did. Thank you all so much for this.
Thank you much. One more time, what a great talent. I mean, I was honored enough and blessed enough to have been with Sue and around Sue when she came in, and boy, did she capture some of the most iconic photos in rodeo. Speaking of iconic, in his Academy Award-winning performance as Sam the Lion, Ben Johnson Jr. portrayed a man who stood up for those in need. Regardless of the consequences, a man of true grit and determination. He lived these ideals in his personal life as well. From a champion rodeo star to a movie star, Ben embodied the cowboy code. This year's recipient is a true icon in the rodeo world, whose journey exemplifies the relentless determination and grit. With over 2 decades of unparalleled success, this man did simply one thing. He set the new standard. Let's learn more about this man's standard and the records he set.
Born November 16, 1976, Camarillo native Trevor Brazile grew up in a family deeply rooted in the rodeo industry. Raised on a ranch, Brazile honed his horsemanship and roping skills while learning the value of hard work and dedication at an early age. Brazile entered his first rodeo at age 13, where he displayed a natural talent for the sport and quickly made a name for himself. He joined the PRCA in 1996 and qualified for his first NFR in 1998. What followed has never been seen before or since in pro rodeo. Brazile rewrote the PRCA record books in terms of world championships and money won. He captured 26 PRCA world titles, including 14 all-around titles, 7 more than his closest competitor. Brazile remains the only PRCA contestant to win more than $7 million in a career. Known for his incredible precision and athleticism, he has redefined the sport with his innovative techniques and strategic approach. Beyond the arena, he is a respected mentor and advocate for rodeo, inspiring young cowboys and contributing to the sport's growth. Trevor Brazile's legacy continues to shape rodeo's future.
Ladies and gentlemen, the King, Trevor Brazile, to accept the Ben Johnson Memorial Award. There's George Strait and country music, and this is the King of Rodeo.
I may be the only one up here without a teleprompter tonight, so you're going to have to bear with me. No, I think Sue said it really good. A lot of people ask me, what is it like, to rodeo for your livelihood or your living? And I've never heard it explained like she just did. It's like climbing Mount Everest with clouds. That was great. This is such an honor, to be here. This is, you guys are my people. There's nowhere that I feel more at home than in this group with these people. So many of you I've looked up to my whole life. I'm going to flip the switch on where I've been, but when I walk into a place like this, takes me back to my roots. I look at the list of inductees and how some way or another they've all intertwined with my story, and that's just rodeo, and that's how it's a small world, but this is a smaller industry, and I would never compare it to the world because it is just that much better. It doesn't matter where I am. I know somebody somewhere through this network of Western industry that I get to call mine, and I'm so thankful for it. And this award means a lot to me because Ben, not only being a real cowboy, but to go on and do things in the mainstream, I think is what it takes to bring light to the industry and that we love and that we want to cherish and preserve, and that this hall does such a great job of doing. And I want to thank you to the Rodeo Historical Society for doing that, because I've only been retired a few years and I know how soon a guy can get forgotten. But thank you for that, because it does. I know you go to a lot of meetings, and I know that it is tiresome, but thank you that it doesn't go unnoticed, that there is a next generation, and people are always looking for a hero, and I want to bring them to my industry because there's nothing like it. And that same grit that Ben Johnson had, I'd like to think was in a little bit of that was in all of us, and this next generation that's coming, you know, that I deal with when they're little and they want to do what I've done. And I tell them that grit, that same grit that was in Ben Johnson, you know, that grit is the only thing that I've seen throughout my career and everything that I've done. That grit is the only thing that can turn that potential that everybody has into reality. And it did it for me, because I know there was more people out there that were more talented, but nobody loved it. Nobody was more passionate about the sport of rodeo that I love. And I just thank you all for giving me this opportunity. This is such an honor, and I gladly carry the torch for the next generation. And I'm just blessed to be here. Thank you, guys.
Don't let him walk off this stage without giving one more round of applause. This man has done so much for rodeo and humble about it. Just truly a great champion. All right, now we have a little bit of fun. This is where everybody gets to flex, raise your hands, get into some serious fun, because now is where the audience gets to participate. Of course, this great museum, this great hall, it needs great support. This is our biggest fundraiser we have for the Rodeo Historical Society. Please welcome right now onto the stage Mr. Don Arms. We're a former state representative. Right up here on stage, I've never seen a politician that doesn't know how to extrapolate money from a crowd. This man can do it. He has proven at it, and he's very, very good. We've got 6 great things. You're pretty good at raising money, aren't you?
Well, I hope so, Dave, but I don't usually follow Trevor Brazile.
Hey, everybody's got to man up every once in a while, cowboy. That's all I can tell you. Pull your hat down tight and let the rodeo begin. All right, we've got 6 wonderful live auction items. We are going to start off with none other than a pure beaver, 100% pure beaver fur selected from preferred felts. This is going to be a hat from Resistol, a 4-piece sterling silver buckle set on a genuine roan leather sweatband. It all sets the stage aside. This hat is made in America, 100% pure beaver. The color is buckskin. It's going to be a cattleman crown. The crown's going to be 4 5/8. It's going to be a long oval shape with a brim of 4 1/4, and it also is going to come with its own hat box. I mean, this is a gift for a cowboy or cowgirl that has a Christmas wish list. Let's get it going.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. You know the story on the hat. Dave told you all the good stuff about it, and ladies and gentlemen, it is a nice one. As my buddy used to say, it's as good a sky piece as you could ever own right there. Here we go. Set us along. What are you going to give? You tell me. And who give 500 where? Let's all skate. Who give 500 bid? I get them on 500 bid. Now 5. Thank you. 7.5. Give me 5 now. 7.5. 7.5. Give me 750. I got 500 out front. Give me 7.5. I'm 5 now. 7.5. 7.5. Give me 7.5. What do you give? 750. 7.5. Gonna be 7.5. I got 500. Who gives 6? I got 500. We're way under the money, guys. 5, 6, 6. Now 7. Now 700 bid. Now get them on 7. I get them 7, 7, 7. Give me 700. I'm 700 bid. Now what do you give 700 by you out, sir? We give 700. I'm 6 now. 7. I'm 6 over here. Got to be 700. I'm 600 a bid. Now I get them on 700 by. I get them on 6 now. 7. Thank you. New blood.
We've got Thanksgiving coming around the corner. I mean, come on. You got to show up looking sharp. You're going to get this hat. Pure beaver with a box to even carry it in.
That's exactly right, Dave. I've got 700. You're all out. 800 where? 700 bid. Now what do you 800 buy? Get them on 700 bid. Now what do you 800 buy? Get them on 708. I'm 700 bid. Now 800 buy. I'm 700 bid. Now what do you 800 buy? Get them on 708. I'm 7 over here. Get me 800 where? I'm 700 bid. Now what do you 800 buy? Get them on 78. 78. 78. 78. Would you give 800, sir? I'm 700 bid. Now what do you 800 buy? Ma'am. 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 I really want him to bid, and you got him posing. Bless your heart. That's a great picture, though. But he's out. Got to be 70, 8, 9, 9. Get him 9, 9, 9, 8, 9. Now 1,000. And 1,000 to you, sir. And 1,000 bid. Get him on 1,000 bid. Get him on 1,000 bid. Get him 1,000. 1,000. I got it. 900 now 1,000. I'm 900 bid now. Get him on 1,000. Get him on now. Now 1,000 bid. Get him on 1,000. 1,000. That picture may go viral if you win the hat. $1,000, would you? I'm 900 1,000. I'm 900 bid now. Get him on 1,000. Get him on 900,000. 900 bid. Now what do you 1,000 buy? Get him on 900,000. 900,000. 900,000. Got 900 over here. Get me $1,000. 900 bid. Now what do you 1,000 bid? Now get him on 9,000. 900 bid. Now what do you $1,000? I'll take 950. You want to do it? How about 9 1/4?
I believe that lady said she's in.
I like your style, ma'am. You've been sitting back there being real nice. You're at 9 1/4, sir. You got to be 950. 950 and 975, ma'am. You got to be 975, 975, and you're out. It's your turn. 975. Would you do that? 975, $1,000, sir. $1,000 to you. $1,000 bid. It's okay to hit a girl in an auction. $1,000, 975 and 1,000. 975, 1,000. 975. It's kind of expected in an auction actually to hit whoever's bidding. 975 going to be $1,000. Now 11 1/4, ma'am, or 1,000 1/4. 1,000.
Actually looking shocked like you're raising the bid.
1,000 1/4, 1,050. I know. Can you believe I did that to her? 1,050. It's some gal. Don't worry about it. 1,050. 1,050 now. 1,050 now. 1,050 now. 1,050 now. 1,050. 1,050. 1,050. I still think we're under the money on a pure beaver hat. 1,050. 1,050. Got 1,000 1/4 with the lady. Got to be 1,050. Would you do it? 1,050. 1,050. Pure beaver hat. 1,050. Sold it, ma'am. Your way. 1,000 1/4.
Thank you.
You guys.
Thank you very much. She has got a hat and she's happy.
A good hat,
happy
Dave.
Deluxe. And her husband's sitting over there and says, I can't believe you did that. Well, don't worry. I've got the perfect deal for you because if you think you're going to be left out in the cold. Oh, she's going to wear the hat. Well, good. We like that because if you get left out in the cold, oh, you're going to get the hat box. You get the box. She gets the hat. Well, who needs a blanket? One of the great legendary blankets of the game is Pendleton Blanket. Yeah, you've heard about Pendleton Rodeo. Pendleton Letterbuck. Looky here, got the Letterbuck logo on there. Pendleton Rodeo, Pendleton Roundup. This great blanket has been donated by Pendleton Roundup. This is a keepsake piece. If you're like me, men, you're always in the doghouse. You need a good blanket because winters are coming, and this is a great chance. Remember, this is a 501c3. You can dig yourself out. You can write it off, and when your accountant says, what's this for? And you can just say, this is called doghouse preservation. Let's get it going.
Dave, if I catch you taking a blanket that nice to the doghouse, we're going to have a visit. That's way too nice. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The folks from the Pendleton Roundup Committee are all down here in the middle. Thank you all so much for the donation. We actually sat with them last year, and what a great group of people. And had it not been for a little bit of a surgery on a daughter, we would have come this year. Keep us on the list. We're coming. I'd love to come see that show. Thank you all for the donation. Here we go. Wonderful Pendleton blanket, ladies and gentlemen, from the Pendleton Roundup Committee. Here we go. What are you going to do? Talk to me now. And who give 500? Let's do it. Who give 500 where? And 500 bid. Now get them on 500 buy. Get them on 500, would you? And 500 bid. Now what do you 500 buy? Get them on 555. Now get them on 500. Who? Okay. All right. All right. You're not warmed up yet. Who'll give 200? I got 200. Thank you, ma'am.
I'm going to pop off about the doghouse. I'll give 250.
I got 250. Now 3. Now 3. I'm 3. Now 2. Now 3. Now 3. Now 3. Now 3. Now 350. I got 350. Did you say yes? 350. Now 4 and 4 to bid. Now 3. Now 4. 3. Now 4. 3. Now what do you 400, ma'am? You're out. Would you give 400? You're out. 400. Now 3. Now what do you 400? I'm 3. Now 4. 350. Now 400. I'll give 375.
There's 400 right back there, gentlemen.
I got 400. Thank you. Now 450 and 450. Now 4. Now 4. Now 4. Now 4 and a half. 4 and a half. What do you 450? There's 4 and a half. Now 500. Now 500.
Bobby's in at 500. Bobby Norris said he's into 500. He's always in the dog.
Well, I like it. Who'll give 5 and a half over here? You guys are out this way. 5 and a half, 600. Now 600 to you. And 5 and a half. What do you 600 be? Now get them on 5 and a half. What do you 600? 5 and a half and 600. 5 and a half and 600. Would you? I got 5 and a half this way. Got to be 600. 5 and a half, 600. Got to go. 5 and a half. Would you give $600? Believe it would. 5 and a half, 600. I'll take 575 one time. Yes. There's 600. Now 6 and a half. Now 650 and 600. Now 650, sir. What do you have? 6 and a half, 6 and a half, 6 and a half.
We got 6 and a half.
I got 6 and a half. Now 7. Now 700. Now 7 where? I'm 6 and a half. Would you give 700? 6 and a half. Would you give 700? Did you say yes? Did you get 7? There's 7. Now 7 and a half. Back this way. 7 and a half. Can't hardly see for the stage light. 7 and a half. 750. There's 7 and a half. Now 800. 800 bid. Now what do you have? 800 back. Get him on 7 and a half. 800. Got him here at 7 and a half. Now what do you have? 800. 800. So your man's out on the left. 800. 800. You got 800. Thank you. 8 and a half. Going to be 8 and a half. What do you have? 8 and a half. What do you have? 8 and a half. What do you have? 8 and a half. 8 and a half. 8 and a half one time. What do you have? 850. I got 800 now. 850. 850.
800 here, John. You want 850? Is that Bobby? All right.
I got 800, 8 and a half. What do you have? 8 and a half. What do you have? 8 and a half. Anybody else? 8 and a half. Got 800 now in front. We got 8 and a half now. 850. 8 and 50. 8 and a half. 8 and a half one time. What do you have? 850 one time. Anybody else? 850. Sold at $800 right down front.
Thank you, Bobby Norris. Cross team.
Long-time supporter. Thanks, Bob. Appreciate it.
T-Cross Ranches. And ironically, Bobby buys the beautiful blanket. And how about this? We have got a unique opportunity, and we just saw the king of rodeo, Trevor. He won 26 world championships. He got up here, he won the Ben Johnson. Everybody likes to have good horses, and I can promise you one thing Trevor could tell you about, he was always mounted well. Well, the man that just bought the blanket also has happened to own a lot of great horses, and that's the T-Cross Ranches, and this is a wonderful opportunity to buy a breeding to one of the hottest young stallions going. In fact, he showed tonight at the AQHA show. Bobby was late getting down here. I mean, I'm just going to flip this around because I can't really read all of this. It's small font, and I don't want to look old when I pull my glasses out. But, I mean, this horse is one. This is in 2023. That looks like Trevor Brazile's rookie year. And this is in 2024. Same thing. We're hitting world championships. He's been a world champion horse. His name is Expedia. He's got the horse stands down at stud down at Millsap, Texas. You can contact the operation at Millsap. They will ship you the semen. If you like good horse flesh, this is a great opportunity to buy a great breeding to a great stallion in Expedia. He's won everything and anything. He's got a great mind, great attitude, good conformation. Take it away.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here you go. You heard the story, and an awful good opportunity. What are you going to give? Talk to me now. Set us along. Who get 5,000? Let's do it, guys. Who get 5? Who get 5,000 to bed? Get them on 5. 5,000. Who get 5,000 to bed? Now we get 5,000 to the back. Get them on 5. 5,000 and 5,000 where? Going to be 5,000 to the bed. Now get them on 5,000 to the back. Get them on 5 and 5,000. What do you get 5,000 to the bed? Now get them on 5. It's a good breeding, guys. 5,000. All right, let's do it. Who give 2,000 on the breeding, guys? Who give 2? I got 2 places. Who give 3? I got 3 where? 3. Now 4. I'm 4. Now 5. Now 5. I'm 4 to bed. Now get them on 5,000. I'm 4,000. We do 5, sir. You're out. 4,000 now 5. 4,000 now 500. We give 5 now 5,000. Do it. 5,000. I got 4,000. We give 4,500. Do that. 4,500 a bit. Now get them on 4,500 about now 45. 45. What do you 45? What do you 45? Do you need me to have security come get her out of your way? She looks like she might be holding you back a little because there's 45. Now $5,000. Now 5,000. You're out in the back. Going to be 5,000. I got 45 right here. Now $5,000. 45. Now 5,000 in the back. Would you give 5,000 one time? I got 4,500 here. Would you $5,000 and 5,000 to the bid? Now get them on 5,000. Would you 5,000? Would you 5,000? Would you 5,000 one time? I got 4,500. Would you $5,000? 45. Now 5,000. I'll take 47.5 one time. You're out in the back. 47.50. You want to do it? 47.5. 47.5 one time. Would you give 47.50? Unbelievable. What? 47.5. 47.5. 47.5. Will you do it? 47.50. Anybody else? Hammers up. Sold it. 4,500 right there in the brown hat right in the center, guys. If you get me a name, thank you.
Thank you.
The person that came in second, guess what? If you'll just raise your hand and match that same number, you too have a breeding. I've been told that. So whoever was in second place, you want to saddle up for the same price, you can get the same breeding. It's right there. Do we have a taker? No, she said she was running the bid. All right, well, how
thank you,
about
though.
that?
That's awesome.
But thank you very much, Bobby.
Yep.
Hi. Lars, you're a good man. You want the same thing? You go home with 2 horses. You can have a good herd here in a minute. I'll sell you everything. Look out.
She had a little fire in her eye that time. I think maybe it's a safe bet to say you're good.
Yeah, there you
yeah.
go.
Good move.
Thank you, Bobby. Thank you very much to T-Cross. All right. One of our inductees, he's been the legend in the rodeo game. He's been Mr. Entertainer forever. He's famous for the dead bull Australian snake and everything else. I've never seen a man have so much fun with a bull rope in an arena, especially when it wasn't his. But here he is. He's going to be inducted here in a few minutes. None other than the legend himself, Mr. Flint Rasmussen. Here is his famous Cooper Tires jersey. It's already signed. And chances are, given the way that this man has danced, he's probably worn that a few times. I'm not going to say when you slip it on that you're not going to probably try to break out and break dance like Michael Jackson, but by golly, at least you'll have the jersey.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here you go. And a great jersey is the great Flint Rasmussen, guys. Here we go. What are you going to do? Talk to me now. And who give 500 on it? Where? Autographed and everything, guys. 500 bid. Now get them on 5. What do you 500? And 500 bid. Now get them on 5. Now get them on 5. What do you I'm going to 500. I'm going to 500. Give 200 on it, guys. 200 bid. Now get them on. It's washed. 2. Thank you. 3. I'm 2 to bid. 3 to buy. Get them on 3. 3. 3. I'm 200 to bid here. Going to be 300. 3 now 4. And 4 to bid now. Get them on 4 to buy. What do you 4? 350 now. 350 now. 3 and a half. Going to be 350. Would you? 300 to bid now for the buy. Get them on 350 now. 350 now. 350 now. 350 now. 350 now. What do you give them 350? I'm bid at 300. Would you give 350? I'm bid at 300. Would you give 350 now. 350 to 400. Sir, back to you 400. Now 400 where? And 4 to bid. Now get them on 4. 4. 4. What do you 400? I'm 350 here. What do you 400? Give me 375. Stay in. 375. One time. Going to be 375. 375. Going to be 375. Now 4. Now 4. Way back to you, sir. Your turn. 400 and 4 to bid now. 375 and 400. 375. What do you 4? What do you give it 4? There's 4. Thank you. Now 450 and 4 to bid now. 4 now 4 now 4 now 4 and a half. What do you 4 and a half? 4 and a half. You're out, sir. What do you 4 and a half? I'll take a quarter. 4 and a quarter one time. Do you 425? 4 and a quarter and 4 and a quarter. Now half. Now 4 now 4 now 4 and a half. Get it 4 and a half. What do you 4 and a half? I got 4 and a quarter straight away.
This is not a Jerry Jones Dallas Cowboys jersey. This is a champion's jersey. Let's get serious here.
I got 4 and a quarter straight away. Now 4 and a half back there. 4 and a half. Can you go over it now? 450. Now 475, sir. 475 and 500 and 5. Good speech, Dave. 5 and a quarter and 5 and a quarter. 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 How tough is it to be a Cowboy fan right now? 5 and a quarter and a half. 5 and a half. 5 and a half. 5 and a half. What do you give? 5 and a half. 5 and a half. 5 and a half for 600. Now 600 where? I'm 550. Now 600 and 600 and 600. Let's take 575. Let's stay little. 575. Got to be 5 and a half over here. Got to be 575. 575. 575. Did you give you a little bit of 575? Would you do it one time? 575. 575. Would you do that? 575. 575 and a half. 575. Got 5 and a half here. What do you 575? Believe it would? Sold it. $550 your way. She getting them? All right. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, rodeo fans. Sold out NFR. Who wants to go to the Sunday night performance, December the 8th? 2 plaza level tickets. These are being donated to none other than Flying U Cotton Rosser, one of the greats of the game, the great late Cotton Rosser. I mean, Flying U has been a producer there of the NFR. They produced the openings forever. They work with Sean Davis, and they've had tickets out there. I promise you, 2 plaza level tickets like this are so hard to come by. They are 2 for the Sunday night, December the 8th performance. You can't beat it. It's the greatest rodeo in the world. Sold out. 2 tickets. Here's your chance for Christmas.
It was sold out like 3 years ago, I think. It's just a pretty tough ticket.
It's been sold out for so long, they should build a bigger arena.
You think? All right. I guarantee you that. We get it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Talk to me now. What are you going to give? Some great tickets. Here we go. What are you going to give now? Tell me who give 500 for them, guys. Got 500. Let's do it. And 500. I'm just grabbing stuff. 5, 7.5. And 7.5. Going to be 7.5. Going to be 7.5. Going to be 7.5. 500 back. Going to be 7.5. I'm 5 now. 7.5. I'm 5 now. 750 where? Going to be 7.5. Going to be 7.5. 7.5. What do you give it? 7.5. What do you give it? And 750 now. Back. Get them on 7.5. Going to be 7.5. Going to be 7.5. Going to be 7.5. We give 750. 750. I got 5. He'll give 600. 5 now. 600 where? And 5 now. 600. I believe would. 600 where? I'm 500 now. 6 now. 7 now. 7. I got 6 here. You want to give 7, sir? Stay with me, ma'am. You want to give 7 now? 8. I'm 700 now. What do you 800 back? Get 8. What do you 8? You're still getting in if you want to. 8 now. 9. Got 8 in the back. 9. 900. I would have been. I just think we're still way under the money. 900. Negative 999. I got 8 and 9. There's 9. Now $1,000 to you. And 1,000. Negative 1,000. Back at 1,000. What do you 1,000? What do you 1,000? What do you 1,000? Now 1,100. 1,100. Now 1,000 in the back.
May I remind you, 501c3, you get to go to the best rodeo in the world, and you get to write it off. That's called stealing right there. And it will stand up with any IRS audit, so get after it.
Dave Appleton, CPA. He's right, though.
It's cowboy logic. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
I guarantee you. There's 1,000, 1,100, 1,100. I'll buy that. 1,100. 1,100. I got 1,000 back. It'd be 1,100. 1,100. Would you give 1,100? I'm 1,000. 1,100. Would you? I'm 1,000 back. It'd be 1,100. I'll buy 11. We give 1,100. Would you do it? I got 1,000 now. 1,100. I believe would. 1,000. 1,100. 1,000. 1,100. 1,000. 1,100. Anybody else? 1,000. 1,100. 1,000. 1,100. Anybody else? 1,000. 1,100. You want to do it? 1,100. You're out. You're out. 1,100. 1,100. Now would you give 11? You want to do it? 1,100. Tough to get. 1,100 one time. Would you give 1,100? Got the lady in the back of 1,000. Give me 1,100, would you? Whoop, you got it. Oh, a new lady. I love it. 1,200. Lady in the back. 1,200. You're out. Going to be 1,200 in bed now. 11, 12.
I feel like Bob Tolman. I'm making it up, and she's buying it.
11, 1,200. I'm 11, right in the middle. Now 1,200 back. I'm 11. Give me 1150, ma'am. You've owned them a long time. You've owned them long enough to make your reservations. 1150. 11, 11 half. 11 half. 11 half. Would you give 11 half? I'm not done with you. I get to decide, and you're not done. Give me 11 and a quarter and stay in this fight. 11 and a quarter. Thank you. 11 and a half. 1175. Don't you quit. 1175. This is not a quit kind of crowd, if you hadn't noticed. 1175. 1175. This crowd doesn't know how to quit. That's why they're all here. 1175 one time. Got 1150. I've got you at 1150. 1175 in the back. You got one more chance. 1175. Believe it would. You want to bid again against yourself, I'll take it. I'll be glad to do that. It wouldn't be nice, but, I mean, you'd figure it out later, and everybody'd say, you're bidding against yourself. I've got you at 1150. 1175 in the back. You want to do it one time? Ma'am, I'm going to sell it to you at 1150 right there in the sparkly blouse. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, lucky last item. And, man, what a great item this is. Check out the screens. This is a beautiful 3-piece buckle set by another one of the great buckle makers of the game, Gist Silversmiths. This is a handcrafted sterling and 14-karat yellow gold 1-inch 3-piece buckle set. This is out of their legendary Masters collection. And when you see this, I think the best way to sell this when we're looking at it, Chesney, just walk around through the audience, because there's a lot of people out here looking for Christmas. There's some really hard to find people to buy for. And I think that as you're walking around, you can tell them how you're going to win Miss Rodeo America as well. You can get a chance to see this show. But check this buckle set out. I mean, it is absolutely stunning. 3-piece, again, Gist Silversmiths. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous piece.
I wonder if I should have her go to that very back table. The lady that didn't buy the tickets may not get to go to the Cowboy Christmas. So this might be her only chance at redemption.
Exactly. You don't need to get to go to Cowboy Christmas, and Cowboy math and deductions can kick right in again.
I like that deduction deal a lot, Dave. That's a good point. Ladies and gentlemen, a beautiful Gist buckle. Here we go. Set as long. All right, here we go. Set us along. Who'll give 300 on us? Do it, guys. You tell me. Who'll give 3? I want everybody to skate 3, 4. I'm 3 to bid. 4 to buy. Get them on 300 to bid. Now 4 to buy. And 3. Now 4. I'm 3 to bid. Now 4 to buy. Get them on 3, 4. I'm bid at 300. Would you 4? Now 300 to bid. I'm bid at 300. Would you 400? I'm bid at 3. Thank you. Now I got 3. Now 350. I'm 350. Thank you. Now 400, ma'am. Now 400. Thank you. 450, sir. And 4 down. Get it over. Over 400 to 500. Now 500. Better buckle. 500. I have 5 and a half. 5 and a half. Going to be 550. Would you? 500. Bid it. Now for the back. Get them on 5. Going to be 5 and a half. 550. Got 500 with the lady.
It has got a beautiful Indian chief head right on the top of the buckle. As you go down through, one of the keepers has got a teepee, and the final keeper, the silver tip, has got a beautiful bison buffalo. So if you want a unique keepsake, this piece is timeless. Jump and take a look at it.
I've got 500 now, 5 and a half. Now 6 back to you. Now 600, 6 and a half, ma'am. Going to be 600 now, 6 and a half, 6 and a half. Would you have 650? 650, you're out, ma'am. Going to be 6 and a half, 6 and a half, 6 and a half. Now 7. Now 700 to you. I'm 6 and a half. Going to be 7. I get to be 7. I got 7. Whoop, thank you. 7. Now 7 and a half. You're both out in the front. 7 and a half. I've got 7 in the middle. Got to be 7 and a half. Going to be 7. What do you give? 750. 7 and a half. Now 800. I'm 7 and a half. Would you give 800? 800. 8 and a half. Going to be 800. Now 8 and a half. What do you give? 8 and a half. What do you give? 8 and a half. 800. What do you give? 8 and a half? 8 and a half one time. What do you have? 8 and a half? I got 800 in the back. Going to be 8 and a half, ma'am. 850, 850 now 900, 900 in the back, you're out. Got to be 9. We did 900, but now get them on 99999 9 now 950, 9 and a half back to you, ma'am. 950, 950, 950. Do it one time. 9 and a half. Going to be 9 and a half. Going to be 9 and a half, $9,500. 1,000 to bid. Get 1,000 to the back. Get 1,000 to the bid. That's a beautiful buckle. $1,000. Would you? $1,000. I believe it would. I'm bid at 850 now. Get them on or 950 now. Get them on 1,000 to bid. Get them on 1,000. Would you have $1,000? Would you? $1,000. $1,000. $1,000. Anybody? $1,000. $1,000. Got 950 here. Going to be $1,000 to bid. Now get them on down to the back. Get them on down to the bid. Now would you have $1,000? $1,000. $1,000. Got 950 in the front. Going to be $1,000. Would you? Anybody else? Whoop. There's 1,000. Thank you. Thank you. 1,050, ma'am. You're out. 1,050. You're out in the front. 1,050. 1,100. 1,100. You're out in the back. It'll be 1,100. But now would you have 11? 1,100. She's out in the back. Well, 1,100. Would you do it? 1,100. 1,100 one time. Would you have 1,100? I believe it would. I got 1,050 in the front. Give me $1,100. 1,100. 1,100. Got to go. Hammers up. Sold it 1,050 right here in the front. Thank you guys. Appreciate it very much.
All right. Thank you very much, JJ.
All right.
JJ Norris, and thank you. Let's have a great round of applause. Thanks. Mr. Don Arms, great job. Thank you, John. Don always comes, always shows up. Gives you a lot back to this association. Uh-oh, I got to hitch my get-along. This one's from my earpiece. Let's continue with our evening with the installation of our Rodeo Hall of Fame class of 2024. This first inductee, I'm going to go off script because to me, I was lucky enough to be rodeoing around the time we were all in college together. And this man came up with what you might say, everyone has something to revolutionize something. Well, this man, he changed the sport of rodeo. Who would have ever imagined that rodeo and rock and roll would be two things to come together? And it was none other than the vision of this great man, and he has changed the game forever because you can't go to a pitching unless you've got something kicking, and it's usually the rock and roll. And let's learn out a little bit more because this man was an innovative man at an early age, and the journey continues.
Mack Altizer, born October 27, 1957, grew up in a rodeo family. He competed in all timed events and won his first championship in 1973, taking both the calf roping and all-around titles at the American Junior Rodeo Association finals. He also won the 1976 National High School Rodeo Association calf roping title. Altizer was named the president of the AJRA from 1976 to 1977, and in 1980 he became the president of the National Intercollegiate Rodeo Association. The same year he formed Bad Company Rodeo, where he unveiled several innovations to the sport. Insisting that Bad Company be as fair as possible to every contestant, Altizer kept charts tracking the performance of rodeo stock, replacing any that didn't measure up. He also featured events set to music, with ingenious soundtracks accompanying each Bad Company rodeo. And his marketing plan included meeting with each rodeo committee to share ideas to improve their rodeos. He won Stock Contractor of the Year from the PRCA and the WPRA. His other honors include Legacy of the West Trailblazer in 2022, Bull Riding Hall of Fame in 2021, PBR's Jim Shoulders Lifetime Achievement Award in 2019, and the Texas Rodeo Cowboy Hall of Fame in 2011. Altizer's rodeo innovations and knowledge has greatly changed the game of rodeo.
Help me welcome into the Rodeo Hall of Fame class of 2024, Mr. Rock and Roll, Mack Altizer. Whatever you want to say, and I probably, the man with the prompter might be able to even play some rock and roll.
Well, thank all of y'all for coming, and great turnout, great weather for Oklahoma. And it's great to be inducted into the hall. This was never expected, and probably the best honor that you could receive, starting from scratch and building a rodeo company and receiving these honors. And I'd like to thank all the people that came to support us, that have worked for us and worked at our rodeos. And the PRCA is doing great in their growth right now. A lot of new sponsors. And hopefully we'll continue to grow at the rate we're growing now. And we're going to have the best national finals in the history probably this year and the largest payouts. And thank all of you for coming.
You know, Max said earlier today his vision for playing the rock and roll music and making things kind of have fun was a way to get people to start talking about rodeos at the coffee shop and showing up and filling up the seats. And still to this day, as you just heard him said, it was never about him. It was always about the greater vision of making this sport better. So as he goes to sit back down, let's have one more round of applause, because there's not a rodeo today that doesn't have production with music tied to it, and it has changed the sport. Thanks, Mac. Our next inductees dedicated their lives to rodeo from a very young age, growing up in the rodeo life alongside their mother, Una. The Beutler girls learned everything they needed to know about timing and being a rodeo secretary. Let's learn more about their rodeo and great success.
Born into the famed Butler rodeo family of Elk City, Oklahoma, Dollie Butler Riddle and Vickie Butler Shireman are the daughters of Jiggs and Una Beutler. They grew up in the rodeo office alongside their mother, who was a rodeo secretary for Butler and Son Rodeo. At age 14, Dollie became a trick rider, which she did at major rodeos from 1965 through 1979. Vickie also learned to trick ride, but gave it up after breaking her back in an accident. Both Butlers learned how to precisely secretary and time rodeos from their mother, with Dollie serving as a timer at the NFR on 5 different occasions and as assistant secretary twice. Vickie served as NFR secretary exactly 20 years after their mother in 1972, and she had gone on to mentor several individuals who themselves have become PRCA timers and secretaries. Dollie was named the NYRA Secretary of the Year, Prairie Circuit Secretary of the Year, Grand Marshal of Nebraska's Big Rodeo at Burwell, Nebraska. Vickie was named 1997 PRCA Secretary of the Year, WPRA Secretary of the Year twice, NYRA Secretary of the Year, Western Oklahoma Hall of Fame inductee, 20-time PRCA Circuit Final Secretary, and an NFR Timer, Secretary, and Office Manager 29 times. Dollie is married to NFR qualifier Rusty Riddle, and they now reside in Vernon, Texas, with their 3 kids and 7 grandkids. Vickie and her husband, Dennis Shireman, live in Elk City, Oklahoma, and have 3 kids and 5 grandkids.
Please welcome to the 2024 Rodeo Hall of Fame as inductees Dollie Beutler Riddle and Vickie Beutler Shireman.
I'm Dollie. And I'm Vickie. You don't know how many times we get asked that. You know, I kind of had a plan tonight that we would be a little farther down the program. And I thought Dollie would add a few more drinks of so, and she likes to kind of talk when she does that, so, but she's only had a half a glass of wine, I think. You know, and you gotta remember, we are not the ones in the family that likes to talk, so bear with us. So. But we would like to thank the Hall of Fame and all the staff and for their great hospitality and for the great meal tonight and all of their great help to make this such a memorable weekend. And congratulations to all of the inductees. Being a rodeo secretary started with our mother, Una Beutler. Mother grew up in Canadian Texas and began her rodeo career in the late 1930s. Mother had younger twin brothers, Clinton and Clayton Hill, and they wanted to rodeo. They rode broncs and bulls. They were identical twins. They would ride for each other. Clayton was a better bull rider. Clinton was a better bronc rider. Grandpa thought they needed some tutelage or watchful eye, so he sent our mother with them. And that's how she got acquainted with the rodeo. Anyway, Mother had the opportunity to go to Madison Square Garden 3 or 4 different times for Everett Colburn from Latin and Sea Rodeo. Along the way somewhere, coming back from spending some time keeping books, or not keeping books, but just timing and being with her brothers and up and down the road. And I want to add too that Mother always told Vickie and I that back, you couldn't buy a Western shirt. You couldn't go in a store and buy a Western shirt. And Mother was a great seamstress. And she made a lot of Western shirts for guys like Todd Watley, people like that, and she sold them for $5 a piece. Anyway, Jake, Lynn, and Ellery, they had a rodeo at Canadian Texas, where Mother was from. And Mother met our dad, Jiggs, there, and got married. And Mother kept time for Jake and Lynn and Ellery, and Daddy drove a truck for them. And that's where you weren't called a rodeo secretary back then, you kept books. So that's where Mother started keeping books. In 1956, when Daddy and Ellery went into the rodeo business, Mother was a full-fledged bookkeeper. Okay, we learned how to secretary in time when we were kids by sitting in the rodeo office by our mom and sitting on a stool in the announcer stand during the rodeo. Secretarian was a lot harder and a lot more work back then when Mother worked and when we first started. There was no computers or Procom and certainly no cell phones. Your rodeo office consisted of a phone line, a manual typewriter, and lots of carbon paper. You had a makeshift office set up the day before the rodeo, maybe in the lobby of the hotel or the police station or in a stall in the barn. And the cowboys would call and enter, and by that evening you had to have the complete rodeo set up
and the rough stock drawn so the cowboys could call back that night to see when they were up and what they had drawn. When we started keeping time in secretary, and we already knew how to do it because of all the time we had spent with our mom. You know, when I was 18 years old, I was keeping time in North Platte, Nebraska, and back then you didn't have slack 3 days before or a week before. You had slack after the perfs at night. And that first perf, I remember watching the sun come up that next morning over that arena, and we still had about 50 head to go. And I can remember asking myself then, is this really what you want to do?
I liked being to do the secretary work, but I would have rather been on my horse. When I was 14 years old, my daddy invited J.W. Stoker to come to our house in the fall. And anyway, I learned to trick ride as Vickie did, and our brother learned as well too. He could vault, Benny Beutler. I bought my card in 1965 for $35 and trick rode for 14 years. I would trick ride at Daddy's rodeos and keep time also. So Daddy would have I would go upstairs, keep time. During the bronc riding, I'd run downstairs, set my saddle, warm up my horse, trick ride after the bronc riding, and hightail it back to the announcer's stand to keep time in the dogged. And you don't know how many times I've heard Clem McSpadden or Hadley Barrett say, "You made it." I helped in the rodeo office a lot, but one year Vickie got hurt trick riding, and I had to go to Coleman, Texas, and trick ride and keep books myself, and that wasn't the thing I wanted to do. That was in 1974. I had just gotten married, so this year marks the 50th year for me to secretary rodeos and married to Rusty Riddle. Our daughter, Melissa Navarre, she trick rode as well and trick rode for several years, but she has taught her 3 girls, Shyla, Lena, and Clara Navarre. They're carrying on the tradition of the trick riding. And Kane and Jade, of course, Rusty and I's 2 boys. Kane rodeoed a little bit. Jade used to work for Benny, and he was the entertainment at the tack trailer, I think. That's what they told me. Anyway, when he couldn't go, or when I couldn't leave the boys at home with Rusty, we had a babysitter that went with us, and she's here tonight, so I want to thank Becky for helping me. Vickie and I still work a lot of the rodeos, or several rodeos that our dad, Jiggs, and granddad, Ellery, started rodeos in the 1950s, 60s, and 70s.
The success we've had is because of the help we've had along the way. We would like to thank Benny for giving us a job all these years, and also to Rhett when he come into the business. My husband, Dennis, who stayed at home a lot with Justin and Jenny to keep things going when I was away at rodeos. And we would like to thank all of our family that's here, all the Butlers, the Murrays, the Navarres, the Shiremans, and the Riddles, our cousin Elreen, and all of our cousins, all the Hill Boys. A lot of special friends are here tonight and rodeo committees, and we thank you all for being here tonight to share the special evening with us. You know, there's been a butler in the rodeo business for the last 95 years, and there's a whole table of 5th-generation butlers sitting back there, and they all love rodeo. So I'm pretty sure the rodeo business will be seeing the butlers in the years to come.
Thank you very much.
If you were at the panel in ceremony this morning where we talked to the inductees, both Dollie and Vickie were priceless. They told some very good stories, and trust me, as they say in the game, if only a rodeo secretary could let all the truth out, ooh boy, look out. No one ever had a hot check. Right. These next two inductees were a force to be reckoned with by challenging the inequalities. Their contribution ensured that all women had a place in the rodeo arena for future generations. Take a look, because this is where history was made.
Frustrated that women had largely been forced out of active competition in rough stock and timed events, except for barrel racing, the rodeo producers of the day, Nancy Binford and Thena Farr, founded the Girls Rodeo Association, which eventually led to female rodeo athletes earning winnings equal to their male counterparts. Benford was born in 1921 and raised on a 10,000-acre ranch near Wildorado, Texas. After earning a bachelor's degree from Texas Tech in 1943, she taught physical education for a year before returning to the ranch and competing in various rodeos. Farr was born in 1927 and grew up near Seymour, Texas. She began riding with her father at age 2 and competing in barrel racing and cutting horse contests by age 10. Discouraged by the lack of rodeo competition for women, as well as the fact that female rodeo contestants were awarded gifts instead of prize money, Benford and Far held the Tri-State All-Girl Rodeo in Camarillo in 1947. It drew record crowds to the Tri-State Fairgrounds. The following year at San Angelo, Benford and Far led efforts to establish the Girls Rodeo Association, which changed its name to Women's Professional Rodeo Association in 1981. In 1985, the WPRA became the first women's sports association to achieve equal pay for male and female athletes. Today, the WPRA is the nation's oldest female sports association and the only one governed by women. Both Benford and Far have been inducted into the National Cowgirl Hall of Fame.
How about that for some history?
To accept Nancy Binford and Thena Farr's medallions, please welcome to the stage Craig Cathey and Dixie Reger Mosley. Boy, that Craig is smart, said put them both on the lady. This was where they started the GRA.
First thing I've got to say is I am so honored to be on this, sharing this stage with my good friend Dixie Mosley. She is a treasure. Hot dang, the Tri-State Rodeo Fair opened in 1947. It had been closed during World War II, and now the community was ready to celebrate. However, the rodeo producers scheduled a rodeo as a summer event that year, so the fair had no rodeo. Cowgirls Nancy Binford and Thena Farr had long dreamed of competing in real rough stock and roping contests, but they lived in an era when rodeo competition was virtually closed to women. So when Nancy and Thena heard that the Camarillo Tri-State Fair needed a rodeo, they were all over it like ticks on an old hound dog. They were saying, hey, we can produce an all-girl rodeo. Well, the fair committee was not enthusiastic, thinking these young ladies couldn't possibly pull it off, even if they could, who would come to see a bunch of girls pretending to be cowboys? Well, that committee didn't realize who they were dealing with. Nancy and Thena
were daughters of the American West, lovers of challenge and mothers of women's competitive role in the modern sport of rodeo. They just simply didn't know the word can. And these women filled up a full slate of all-girl events, including bareback bronc riding, calf roping, team roping, saddle bronc riding, cutting horse competitions, steer riding, and bulldogging. All 4 performances of that rodeo played to standing room only crowds, and it was the most successful rodeo in the history of the fair's rodeos. The following February, Nancy and Thena May and 36 other members of their cowgirl sisterhood gathered in San Angelo, Texas to establish the Girls Rodeo Association. Now known as the WPRA, it is the oldest women's professional sports association in America. And this, my friends, is just one of 1,000 reasons why Nancy Binford and Thena May Farr belong in this Rodeo Hall of Fame. Brief comments that we make here today are woefully inadequate to describe the magnitude of the contributions of all of the inductees. And it is up to us, all of us, to keep this history alive. Thank you.
It's an honor to accept this award on behalf of my friends, Thena May and Nancy. I rodeoed with both ladies in the 1940s and know firsthand experience. They're pioneer women in rodeo, and they set the bar high for others to follow. When they co-produced the Tri-State All-Girl Rodeo in Camarillo, we received prize money for the first time. That changed the sport of rodeo for women. It also helped motivate us to form the Girls Rodeo Association in San Angelo the next year. I could tell you some great stories about Thena May and Nancy and myself, but my time's sort of limited here. And I'll just tell you, they knew what they were doing. They grew up in ranch life, and they knew all about horses and everything. But I will leave you with this sincere belief that the success of the WPR today is a part because of the pioneers like Thena May, Farr, and Nancy Benford. They were my best friends, and I know they would be proud and pleased for this recognition. And I'm very proud and happy to accept it for them. Thank you.
You know, there's been some great moments in the history of the National Finals Rodeo. How'd you like to be one of the people that was named one of the NFR's 60 greatest moments of all time? That's exactly what our next inductee has been honored with. She made history by winning the first ever barrel racing world championship at the 1959 National Finals Rodeo. She didn't stop there. She went on to win the next 2, securing 2 more championships right after that. Let's find out more about this history maker.
Jane Mayo Bondurant was born January 1st, 1937, to a family that ranched near Okemah, Oklahoma. She began competing in barrel racing, calf roping, team roping, bronc riding, and bull riding at junior rodeos, and then joined the Girls Rodeo Association in 1955. Bondurant was the team tying champion in 1957, 58, and 59, and won the GRA All-Around in 1959 as well. She won the Barrel Racing World Championship at the first NFR in 1959, followed by 2 more consecutive barrel racing championships in 1960 and 61. That made her a legend. Bondurant won all 3 barrel racing championships on V. Sandy, her horse bred by Oklahoma Star Jr., and a quarter horse named Adana. In total, Bondurant competed for 12 years, and she also authored the influential book, Championship Barrel Racing, in 1961 to help expand the popularity of the sport. She was named to the Wrangler NFR's list of 60 greatest of all time. Today, she currently lives in Durant, Oklahoma.
Please help me welcome into the Rodeo Hall of Fame, class of 2024, Jane Mayo Bondurant.
Good evening. Thank you for that warm welcome. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I wished I had the words to express to the Rodeo Historical Society just how much this means to me, to be given this place in history. A lot of wonderful things has happened to me during my lifetime. But this has to rank among the top. I'm excited, humbled, and blessed. I hope in some small way I made a contribution to this sport we all love. Thank you and good evening.
Let's have it one more time for Jane. The 1959, the first NFR ever. You're looking at the champion. There aren't very many that are still with us for that inaugural class, so congratulations to Jane. Our next inductee is a 4-time NFR champion who forever changed the game of team roping with the introduction of Dollie-style team roping. He was a gentleman, he had to be, but let's take a little look at this man who changed roping.
Reginald Reg Camarillo was born February 20th, 1945, and grew up in California, where he learned to rope alongside his cousins, Leo and Gerald Camarillo. After returning from a 2-year Army stint in Vietnam, Reg and Leo Camarillo became team roping partners and began a 9-year run at the NFR. The two won the NFR average 3 consecutive years, from 1969 through 1971, and again in 1975. Reg also won just about every major rodeo across the country. Elected to be an NFR team roping judge for 7 years, he was part of the Camarillo trio, who changed the game by introducing Dollie-style team roping in place of the tied run style. The Camarillos were asked to give private lessons on their team roping theory and fundamentals to important rodeo dignitaries, and soon they hosted team roping schools throughout the United States and Canada that helped make team roping a global phenomenon. Today, Reg lives in Fresno, California.
Please help me welcome into the 2024 Rodeo Hall of Fame, Mr. Reg Camarillo.
Well, good evening, everybody. Tonight, I'm just going to throw out a few well-deserved thank yous. First and foremost, I'd like to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Second, I'd like to thank Liz Camarillo for nominating me for this great honor. And I love you, Liz, and that guy you're with tonight. Now to my extended family and friends, thank you for being here in Oklahoma. I love you all. Now in Oklahoma, that means all of you, okay? And By the way, family, you guys cleaned up real good. And speaking of good, that's my family sitting down there with the little baby. And I gotta say, looking all bougie. Anyway, quite a group. Back to my extended family, I forgot to mention that I'm proud that you're here with me tonight, and I love y'all. So, back to my bougie family. They are looking pretty good, especially that little Remy. That's our newest member of the family. And sitting among that group is one of my biggest fans, of course, my beautiful wife, Kimberly, who also is the love of my life. True story, honey. My two very beautiful and talented daughters are with us tonight, along with my son-in-law. Now, he's the guy that took my daughter Lacey to a land far, far away, a land called, oddly enough, Oklahoma. So, moving on. Oh, by the way, we still love that young man and know he's going to do well. Of course he's going to do well. He's married to a great young lady. And after tonight, a famous father-in-law. So there you go. The main thing is, thank you, family. I love y'all. And so proud of you guys. Let's see here. I don't want to forget anybody. Now, for the next two guys, truth is, all my most memorable wins at rodeos and major opens were with these two great roping partners, traveling partners / all-around good guys, both in and out of the arena. It was such a privilege to have roped with these two great Hall of Famers. It was a good run, and along the way, we had a little fun. So thank you, Leo and Gerald Camarillo. I just cannot thank you guys enough. To me, you guys were the best of the best. I love you. Now, in closing, I just got to say this. I'm so proud to be inducted into this Cowboy Rodeo Hall of Fame's class of 2024. I am incredibly grateful for this honor. To be inducted into the Hall, I consider it a huge, huge honor. Thank you to all of you out there, and thank you to the Hall and all the people that work in it that made this beautiful event happen. And that's all I got to say. Thank you very much.
Our next inductee started his rodeo career riding bulls, but his exceptional humor and bullfighting skills soon took center stage. His talents earned him the PRCA's Clown of the Year in 1983, with many, many more accolades to follow. Let's find out more about those accolades.
Leon Cathey was born on September 11, 1954, and began his rodeo career riding bulls, but his humor and bullfighting ability overrode his desire to compete in the arena. Cathey initially began bullfighting and clowning with Mike Moore. The duo was called Salt and Pepper, along with his mule Matilda, who was part of the act. named the PRCA Clown of the Year in 1983, and among the top 3 for this honor from 1984 through 2001, Cathey worked many of the top PRCA rodeos for years. But with longevity came injuries, 14 knee surgeries, and 133 broken bones. A Wrangler Bullfight Tour finalist from 1980 through 1985, and a Wrangler Bullfight Tour Barrelman in 1999. Cathey worked the Texas Circuit Finals for 8 years, the Canadian Finals in 1985 and 86, and he was the National Circuit Finals Barrelman in 1987. A Texas Rodeo Cowboy Hall of Fame inductee in 2005, and a Pro Rodeo Hall of Fame inductee in 2018. Cathey is one of only 3 individuals to be both a National Finals Barrelman and Bullfighter. Outside of the arena, he's appeared in the films 8 Seconds, My Heroes Have Always Been Cowboys, and Jericho. He's also been featured in Texas Monthly and featured in CBS Mornings Television. Grand Marshal of the 2023 Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo Parade, Cathey announced his retirement at the end of the 2024 Houston Rodeo. He now resides in Blanco, Texas.
Please welcome me into the 2024 Rodeo Hall of Fame class, Mr. Leon Cathey. It's okay, you can soak it in, but you can't sell it.
Woo, I done went and done it again. Done got all embarrassed and don't know really what to say. But I will say that I've done a lot in my life. I had a man tell me many years ago, he said, you're going to touch a lot of people before you die. He wasn't lying. I can say that probably 80% of the people in here, I've had some kind of conversation or relationship or some friends with at least 80% of everybody in here. To be able to say that is one of the greatest honors that I can have, that I can say, because I have that many acquaintances and friends. I've come a long ways to get to here, and I wasn't planning on getting here. I never thought I'd ever. I started off clowning and stuff many years ago when I was just in high school and just playing with it. Looked like all you had to do is run fast and act goofy. I used to get kicked out of school for that. Now they're paying me for it. Y'all crazy. You kidding me? How much? But I've enjoyed every moment of it. I kept going because my little girl wanted a tricycle, and I didn't have the money to buy it. Because back then we didn't make money like y'all did, Flint. But I'm proud of you. You know, we didn't make near the money, but it didn't cost near what it does to live. Gas was 18, 20 cents a gallon. I know y'all don't ever remember none of that. But I've traveled more places than anybody in my family has ever done. I've been places that nobody in my family has ever been. And I can say that I got family in every one of those places now, because I've never met somebody I didn't want to be my friend. Because not everybody can go where I did and have the fun that I did and enjoy life like I have. My motto of life was God put me on earth to do 2 things: That's help people out and make people happy, and I can do them both right out there in that arena. And that's what I live by. My granddad was a Baptist minister, and although quite a few people in here probably make it hard to believe that I am a Christian, but I am, and I always have been. Thank you. But you know, God's got to be a very loving and forgiving God, because I tried him. I tried him hard, y'all. But he never failed me. And I kept going. I want to thank this National Hall of Fame, because I'm in the Hall of Fame in the PRCA and the Texas. But you know, in the PRCA, there's 8,000 members. That's a very small group that they have to pick from. And in Texas, it's a little bigger group. But I done made it to the World Series of Hall of Fames. This one is not about just one state or one group of people. It's just about the United States. To be selected and voted on to this one means more to me than I've ever had anything mean to me in my life. Like I said, I never thought I'd ever be standing here at this Hall of Fame, not even as a spectator. But here I am here, and I don't know what to say. I know I've got a story on everybody in here, and if y'all get back over there, I'll tell you all about it. But I'm 3 minutes and 27 seconds. Now I got to quit. Ladies and gentlemen, you will never, ever know what this means to me, to be standing in front of you and say thank you for all you've done. Thank you.
Thank you, Leon.
Our next inductee's talent on the horseback earned him a place as a stuntman in Hollywood's golden age of westerns, where he doubled for the big names like Gabby Hayes and Audie Murphy. Let's find out more.
Walt LaRue was born in Canada in 1918 to American parents. As a child, he came to the United States and lived most of his life in California, working as a guide and a packer in the Sierra Nevadas and Rocky Mountains. Later, he gained experience working as a ranch hand. From 1942 to 1954, LaRue participated in rough stock events at rodeos throughout the United States, including Madison Square Garden Rodeo in New York, California Rodeo in Salinas, the Los Angeles Rodeo, and the National Western Stock Show and Rodeo in Denver, plus many more. A Cowboys Turtle Association member, LaRue is also a Rodeo Cowboy Association member and a PRCA Gold Card holder. Aside from ranch work and rodeo, LaRue's ability on horseback led him to find work in Hollywood as a stuntman and a bit actor during the heyday of westerns. He doubled for Gabby Hayes, Audie Murphy, and others, appearing as either a stuntman or an actor in more than 50 film projects. A natural storyteller, musician, and artist, LaRue produced fine art and also drew covers for RCA's Buckboard magazine for 8 years and cartoons for Western Horseman, plus advertisements for Levi Strauss. Recipient of the American Cowboy Culture Award in 2004 and a lifetime member of the Stuntman Association of Motion Pictures, LaRue was honored with the Golden Boot Award in 2007 and performed musically throughout the Los Angeles area before his death in 2010 at the age of 91.
To accept Walt LaRue's medallion and his induction into the 2024 Hall of Fame, please welcome Mr. Jack Verbois.
I'm going to tell you something. There's a lot of people out there who say you can't read a book by its cover. You could Walt LaRue. He dressed like a cowboy. He talked like a cowboy. And if he opened up the cover, he thought like a cowboy, and he had the heart of a cowboy. He cowboyed his entire life. He rodeoed back in the 40s and 50s. And while he was rodeoing, he did cartoons for back in those days, called the Buckboard magazine. And that was the rodeo news of the day. And he has a book of those cartoons, and they would still be relevant for the most part today. He read cowboys pretty good. He got, of course, into the stunt business and through his horse work, and doubled actors like Audie Murphy and horse work. And even though he was in Hollywood and met a lot of famous people like Roy Rogers and Gene Autry and guys like that, and he got a chance to meet guys like Russell and artists. He was surrounded by famous people, but it didn't change him. He was still a cowboy. And I got to tell you, a guy who I have worked in that industry, and they can change people. They didn't change Walt. Their thinking can get you to drinking. But Walt stayed cowboy and didn't let, and it's not that they're not nice people, but they got the emotional stability of a milkweed. So anyway, Walt went ahead and started doing artwork, paintings, while he was still doing stunts, and he developed into quite an artist. They say he was a known artist. Well, I didn't know what they meant, and I looked it up, and now I know that he was pretty famous. That means a high bidder showed up. But anyway, he stayed cowboy the entire time, and even though his paintings became pretty doggone good, and it wasn't cheap to buy one of them, he called it a sideline. He still considered himself a cowboy. And I got to tell you, he would be very humbly honored to be a part of this group. And I think anybody in this group would be proud to ride with him anytime, any place. Thank you very much.
Our last inductee this evening has been the ultimate entertainer in the arena for over 17 years. Whether he's dancing, cracking jokes, or simply engaging with the fans, he's brought immersed talent, energy, and laughter to every event he's ever participated in. Let's learn a little bit more about the king of comedy.
Born and raised in Choteau, Montana, Flint Rasmussen grew up in a home where sports, music, and rodeo were a huge part of their everyday life. The Rasmussen's family often spent their summers traveling from rodeo to rodeo, where Flint's dad was the announcer and his mom a timer. From an early age, Flint excelled in athletics, music, and drama. In high school, he was a point guard on the basketball team, an all-state football player, all-state in track and field, and was selected to sing in the Montana All-State Choir. After graduation in 1986, he enrolled at Western Montana College, and while attending college, Flint continued his creative ways. It was around that same time, on a dare from his dad and his brother Will, he began to perform as a rodeo clown at small rodeos around Montana for a summer job. Flint taught and coached for 2 years, but the rodeo industry was beginning to hear about his unique approach to comedy, unlimited energy, and the unmatched dance moves in the dirt. In 1998, Flint was voted the Wrangler NFR Barrelman and the PRCA Clown of the Year, and he would receive that honor for 8 consecutive years. He also received the Coors Man in the Can 7 times in that same period. With his two daughters, Shelby and Paige, both starting school, Rasmussen signed a contract to perform as the exclusive arena entertainment for the professional bull riders in 2006. He appeared at the PBR World Finals a total of 26 times before retiring from the dirt completely in 2023. Flint now serves as the Senior Vice President for Fan Engagement at the PBR.
Please welcome into the 2024 Pro Rodeo Hall of Fame here at the National Cowboy Museum, Mr. Flint Rasmussen.
My goal is to be riveting enough that my sister and daughters quit reading the teleprompter along with the speakers. I've been watching you all night. Look this way. First, I don't take for granted how big of an honor this is, but I think it means the most because everybody that means the most to me can be here. All of my family is here. And so I want to say to this group, thanks for honoring me, not putting me in that timeout of waiting till not everybody can be here. My folks are here, my brothers and my sister, and my parents are 116 years old. So, but my mom and dad are here, so it means a lot that we get to do it. Yeah. You know, I think I was successful in this business because my approach was probably different than most people. I didn't want to be influential in the Western world. I wanted to be influential in all of it. I didn't have this in my sights growing up. I was an athlete, a musician, an actor, a dancer, you name it. I did everything just okay, and when I combined them all, it turned out pretty good. But because of our family's involvement in the rodeo world and, as the video said, as a dare around the table in the summer of 1987, rodeo became my avenue to hold crowds in my hand for 2.5 hours at a time. And like I used to think, they'd become immersed in possibly a more joyful world than their daily life. And we always said, my brother and I always said, it's our job for 2.5 hours when people are sitting on hard bleachers to forget all the crap they've seen on TV and just come and experience more joy in their life. And I had goals every single performance. Every time I stepped in the arena, I had goals, and I was always really tired at the end of the day, which now I feel that at the start of every day. But I always had other goals too. I've done a lot of things in my career. I struggled with sleep. When I was a kid. My girls think I do not now, and I don't struggle with snoring as well. But when I was young and I wouldn't be able to sleep, and I'd sneak down the stairs and I'd watch Johnny Carson through the banister of the stairwell while my parents were up watching Johnny Carson, and now they can't stay awake for Johnny Carson either. But I was enthralled with that. I was enthralled with that kind of comedy and that format of a show and the way he interviewed people. And this year, I'm preparing and getting ready for the 20th year of Outside the Barrel with Flint Rasmussen. So all you people who are starting podcasts, I was podcasting before you knew what podcasting was. So that was also a very big passion of mine. My girls are here, both college rodeo national champions at Montana State University, as a matter of fact. And the most important thing that their mom, Cathey, and I tried to instill in them was that no matter how much success you had in the arena, people will remember how you treated them. Victory, defeat, through success and failure, leave an impression that makes people feel better as they walk away, and a sense of trust and security in a friendship that may have been developed. Even with failures in certain areas of my life, I do hope that through my career, a lot of my success actually had to do with how I treated you. And I hope I've done a good job at that. But thank you, Paula. just to get you to be quiet when I'm talking. That's a big deal for me. I was very fortunate in my career to get some big opportunities. By the way, being the last guy, I also learned that the 2 minutes was more of a guideline than a rule. I was fortunate to get some big opportunities from a few great individuals early on from the production world. My really good friend in Billings, Montana, now Mr. David Allen. Jim Sutton and his creative mind, and he invented my talk show. And the one and only legend, Jerome Robinson. And I do want to say, for Trevor, we all worry about being forgotten. And I'll share something Jerome Robinson shared with me. He said, I'll tell you how long it takes people to forget you. Take a glass of water and stick your finger in the glass of water. Pull your finger out. In the time it takes for that water to fill in that hole where your finger was, that's how long it takes people to forget about you. But he said, but let me tell you something. There's a different side of the story that everybody forgets. When you pull that finger out, the level of the water drops a little bit. That always stuck with me. Trevor, the level of the water has dropped since you pulled the finger out, I'll tell you that. My mom, one more kind of thing that means a lot to me. My mom used to talk about the alphabet soup of rodeo when we were kids. The alphabet soup of rodeo. I made changes in my career and the direction of my career based on what I thought benefited my family and my motivation to be better in markets beyond traditional Western sports venues. Too often, our inside baseball opinions allow letters in front of a name to determine our views of someone or something. Our Western way of life is so fragile, so disappearing, it's so small and so scrutinized, yet so valuable, that we have to understand we are all on the same team no matter what letters are in front of something. So most of the people watching from the outside on TV or who bought a ticket don't care and don't know what letters are in front of something they're watching. They came to see Cowboys, and Cowboys are Cowboys no matter what. Finally, I've had a lot of titles. Right now, I'm a senior vice president. I wear this tie every day. Lucky enough to still be employed by the professional bull riders. I go to an office every day. I have just 3 months ago moved to Fort Worth, Texas. However, not a Texan. I am a Montanan that lives in Texas. I've been a clown, a barrelman, an entertainer, a host, a commentator, an MC. But the two that mean the most to me, I'm Stan and Tootie's boy, and I'm Shelby and Paige's dad. So thank you very much. This means a lot.
Let's not let him walk off this stage. He has entertained so many people and changed so many people's thoughts and things about the rodeo sport. When you look at this year's class, so much great history, so many legends. I tell everybody each year that's here, and this is where Pam and I usually say one simple thing. If you're not a member of the Rodeo Historical Society, please become one. As Flint just talked about, rodeo, history, keeping this sport alive, keeping the traditions alive. It takes membership, it takes activation. You have to become part of it. Please become a member of the RHS. It's only $35, and yes, once again, being the accountant, it is tax deductible. So please become a member. And also remember, when you get to become a member, you get to do and nominate people. Nominate. We saw this class. This is the greatest class we've had. Every year, it's hard to believe that the next class is better than the class before. But it's a great class. Become a member. Become involved in history. Look around this great room. You see these beautiful paintings. It epitomizes what the Western industry is about. And as we close tonight, I'd like to thank and congratulate once again all of the Rodeo Fame inductees, our award recipients, all of our sponsors, and our auction donation items. Thank you very much. And then also in the housekeeping note,
If you placed a winning bid on a silent auction item, you can check out at the back of the room. To all of the inductees, I'd like to bring you all back up on the stage for one big class photo. For everybody that wants to take a photo of the class, let's let the official photographer take a photo. We'll get everybody else situated, and there'll be plenty of time for everybody else to have a class photo. And with that being said, I was told we needed to be done by 8:30. It's 8:22 and the bar's open. We'll see you later.